Yeah, I'm just trying to see if I can enter this webinar. It's about the evolution of chief financial officers, and it's from Financial Times. Webinars are good because they help you to interact with people you might never meet physically. And as you'll notice in this webinar, particularly, you'll notice that there are people who really get that urge to get to meet, but they hardly meet. I think even there's a compulsion for people who work in distant places, although related, to find some means of meeting. And this is why social media nowadays has become a very good convergence for that kind of effort. And also I realize, and this is another story also, that you realize by the content being created by individuals on social media that there's a really good, could I call it a wish, a very impulsive, compulsive wish to be in a journalistic trade. But maybe there are so many physical barriers or social barriers or academic barriers to join journalism. And I think that's why there's a proliferation of a lot of social media content by individuals, companies, corporations, institutions of various shades and stripes. So let me just enter the webinar and see what it's about. What is it about the chief financial officer role that is evolving?
In our customers that I work very closely with. And over the years, some of the things that have really stood out to us is the quantum of change in the industry is at an all-time high, be it related to digital technology changes, be it product changes, be it sourcing model changes, or be it just the stakeholder dynamics, dealing with Gen Z as customers or as talent that they work with, or uh, the millennials' expectations on how they engage with businesses.
You notice he has mentioned something about generations called Generation Z. In Kenya, we might call them Generation Z. And then he has talked about millennials. So these are ways of classifying groups depending on when they were born. So Generation Z are those who were born, I think, in 2000s or around there, or even if not, like maybe late 80s to 2000 and the end of the century, let's say. Then we have now millennials. Millennials. No, I think to be more exact, Generation Z are those born after after 1980s, 90s there. And then millennials are those who are born after 2000. That's just to make a clarification. And sorry for that interruption.
The role of CFO is an area we continue to work very closely on. We remain very excited with, and we are always eager to learn from the best practices that we can learn from our fellow colleagues. And on that note, I would also like to welcome my colleagues on the panel today, who Brooke will introduce shortly. And thank you for joining me today and being part of this discussion. And with that, I'll close by once again welcoming you all, thanking you for your participation, and hand it back to Brooke. Panel is four different people from very different sectors with very different perspectives, but all of them share one thing. We've all seen